How are you, Rob? All right?
Good, thank you very much, Jeff. You?
Yeah, good, thank you very much.
Nice to see you, mate.
How's the squad looking from Wednesday night?
Good, yeah. The ones that, a couple that were missing are been out there training, or if they've not been training, progressing very, very well. We've not sort of picked up any knocks or anything like that from the game, which is a real positive.
The defenders, Potts, Burke, I think Washoe's a bit longer term, but how are they progressing?
Yeah, good. I think Potts is trained fully out there today, which is great. Berkey and Gabe are sort of neck and neck. You know, they're different injuries, obviously they're different people, but they're both at probably similar stages of return to play. We're hoping that's not too long as well, so real positives with them.
So in terms of playoffs, do you envisage the three of them being available?
Yeah,
which is good news. What about Corley Woodrow?
We'll wait and see a little bit. He could be a little bit longer. We're really hoping, but I won't want to put a time frame on it at the moment. It'll be a little bit longer than those three, though, I think.
That was a funny injury, wasn't it? Because he volleyed and what did he do? Hit the foot of the defender?
Yeah, I just think he caught as he volleyed it. Yeah, he's just sort of opened something up. So it's one of those things which is really, really unlucky. And you know, he was in such good form as well, playing really, really well. But hopefully we'll get him back in the next couple of weeks.
So I suppose you'll want to get Taylor on the pitch as much as possible before the playoffs, maybe, just in case?
I think like we did the other day, we'll just try and take each game. We'll have a plan for each game. Sometimes, you know, during it takes you in a different direction because something could happen. What I was really pleased with the other day is that we'd had a plan. We wanted to make the 5 subs like we've spoken to you guys about, and pretty much everyone that we wanted to sort of look after we were able to do.
It was another great victory, wasn't it? And then stuff was said afterwards about them resting so many players, but the team they put out there was still very strong, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, I don't know what was said because I don't see any of that sort of stuff. Of course, you know, I said that in my press afterwards. You know, I realised that they made some changes, and you know, they've got some injuries. You can only beat what's in front of you, and you know, we've got a few people out as well. So, I mean, I don't know what was said. I don't really care, to be honest. We'll try and look after our own stuff. That's it.
I was watching the game last night, the City Arsenal game, and the first thing Pep said afterwards was not how good his players are, but the work ethic of the side. And it's like, out of possession, like Luton, you have to be so strong.
You do, and against a really good team like Middlesbrough, when they've got very good individual players, they're well coached, so they're a good team, and you know, they can ask certain questions of you then with the ball. So you've got to be really good without it. And I thought, you know, large aspects of it we were, but that, you know, like I said after the game as well, I think we can be a lot better than that with and without the ball. So we've reviewed it and we've gone through a few things with the players as well, and we can still do a bit more over the next couple of days because we'll need to get better than that. But it's good to win a game of football when you're not at your best.
How's Alan Campbell? He's come back into the team and probably hasn't quite reached the heights that he was earlier. Is that just because of perhaps the injury?
I think Al's been really consistent. I mean, he's played. He's been in now. Off the top of my head, I can't really think, but for a good run of games, and he gives absolutely everything all the time. He got a whack in the game, and you know, he was probably someone that we weren't necessarily planning on taking off. But you know, we had a whack, and we wanted to get click of the minutes as well, so it sort of worked out fine. But he's fine. Al's in a good place.
With the players, are you strategically working out, right, how long do I want to give him? How long do I want to give him? Or is that too difficult to?
It's probably too difficult to do. I think, you know, we could do that, but you know, I've talked a lot about the word momentum as well, haven't I? And I want us to try and keep that. You know, we've had that for a long time now, and we've picked up a lot of good results, and we've had good performances. We've had some indifferent performances, but you know, we've got results in the games. So we want to try and keep that going. But you don't know exactly what's going to happen in the game either, Jeff. So it's difficult to say, right, on you know, the stroke of that minute there, we're gonna make these changes. But we can be, you know, and everyone needs to understand that as well, that we can have a little bit more of a plan, and we can, you know, try and look after people if needed as well in these next couple of games.
tricky little couple of games because you know what's going to happen. You know you're in the playoffs. You know you've got a home second leg. So it's how do you go about these two matches?
Well, as I've said, it's try and win, and we want people fit and fresh when we come out the back of the two games. So we'll probably go about it in the same way as we have done for the the Middlesbrough game.
Blackburn obviously going to be bang at it, aren't they? They need results to get in there, so it's going to be, I'm sure, a fairly atmospheric.
It will be, yeah. Richie went to the game. I watched it, on the TV. I know it was a real big derby game and what it meant the other day. But Richie said how impressed he was with the atmosphere. It was really lively, really intense, and the players fed off that as well. It might be difficult for them to get as up for Luton coming as it is for Burnley. We all know what it was like for Watford coming to our place not so long ago. But we do expect an intense atmosphere, and I think that's good for us as well, because I think it will keep us engaged and right at it as well.
And how are the boys? Is it kind of we've got 2 more games and then it's the playoffs. We've just got to stay fairly level if we can, and then make that final push.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is different. I'm not sure if you've even experienced it in your time sort of covering us. I'm not sure. A couple of the lads, Carlton, Corley, Jack, been at Barnsley with 2 games to go when they knew they were in the playoffs. They've experienced a little bit of it. It is a little bit of a different situation. If we were still going for it and we didn't know if we were in, then you just got a bit full tilt. And we want a bit full tilt, but we all know what's coming as well. And human nature, we'll say that it's really difficult to fully engage. I don't know, that part of your brain that maybe we're not even in control of. It might be the same for the supporters, because it was just a bit of a strange atmosphere again the other night as well. We get the goal and then I think everyone gets going, but everyone's thinking, are we going to rest people? Are we not? They've rested a few. Where do we want to come? Do we want to come 3rd or 4th? Who do we want to play? There's all of this stuff going on. We need him fit. Should we take him off now? And there's all this going on, and fans are probably thinking it. We're having all the same thoughts. It's but there's a lot of expertise that I've got in the staff with me to help, and we'll try and make the right decisions. Thank you.
Have you been a player in this situation as well when the playoffs done?
Me? Have I been a player?
So difficult. Do you know?
No, like I said, I've not experienced it before. I've got in the playoffs twice before, but it was late. So no, it's new for me.
Obviously, Sheffield United went up last night. They have obviously done well this season, haven't they, to get their place back in the Premier League? Yeah. Congratulations to them. They've deserved it. They've had a great season. Semi-final and promotion is some achievement. And they've done really, really well. How important is Luke Berry as well? We sort of saw him obviously come on Monday night, and the footage of that challenge he made in his own areas has been on Twitter. He's a big part of the squad, even though he hasn't maybe got the minutes in recent games he might have liked.
Yeah, he still gets important minutes though as well, and I think he realised how important he is, and we're always talking to him, and he's had that late equaliser against Millwall, that tackle the other night. Some of his performances in that run of games where he got more minutes when he came on against Sheffield United was brilliant. Sunderland away, he started the game. I think Bristol City at home, really good performances. And even if he's then getting these 20 minutes at the moment, that's a really important part of the game. So we're bringing him on to make an impact, and he's done that.
The goal conceded was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? Was Ethan a bit frustrated with how the moment?
I think we all are from front to back, but every goal that you concede can be, stopped. And I want to apologise to everyone. We conceded a goal from open play. I know, we've all got to have a look at ourselves. I think it's really disappointing. It was going to happen at some stage, and there's bits that we could have changed from the very top of the pitch where we may have been able to lock it down quicker, to recovery runs, to starting positions, to all sorts of stuff. No, I don't think there's that much Ethan could have done at that stage, and we maybe could have been better at stopping and getting to that point.
Obviously, Sonny Bradley now has come back in and he's played 3 full games, and just how well has he done after so long out to be able to complete that run of games as well?
We've spoken about him a lot over the last couple of games before this one. This game is obviously the biggest test, no disrespect to the previous 2 games, but Middlesbrough they're a different animal to and everyone would have seen that to the 2 previous games. So he was really tested, in behind, having to cover certain distances quicker and at higher speed than he would have done in the other games as well, because Middlesbrough shift the ball so quick, and the spaces that they pick up, they overload certain areas, and then we can be aggressive and try and press, and then they'll go bang and hit you in behind as well. They've got a lot of ways that they can hurt you. So it was a lot different for him, and thought he defended the box really well on a number of occasions. First contact, some good clearances, and he's a leader. And then when we've really needed him, and we've needed him, we've lost 3 defenders, he stepped in and delivered some really good performances.
And how's that Joe Johnson thing as well? Obviously, it's a big moment for him coming on Monday night, getting his debut. What's it been like since?
Great. We've had a couple of days off, so seeing him back in today, it was just his normal self. He came in, has gone about his business and trained really well, as he always does every day. So we're really pleased for him. I think it was good for the academy, good for belief, for the staff, for his mates to see that there's opportunities, and that none of us are afraid to bring people on in big games, because we can say that at the moment now, in terms of league position, we're not going to get promoted in second place and everything else. We know we're in the playoffs, but it's a big game the other night, and we trust him to go on, and he really delivered. He did well. Really pleased for him. But the hard work really starts now, because he's got to try and stick in and around it.
Is that a big part of what you want to do as well? Because I think he's the first academy graduate to play in a league game since James Justin back in 2019. So bringing players through, is that a big part of what you like to do?
Yeah,
if you can?
Yeah, of course. I was a young player once, and someone gave me an opportunity, and we all need that as young players. However that comes, we can't guarantee him another minute. In the next, what have we got? A minimum of 4 games, hopefully 5. But what we can guarantee is that he'll get opportunities to train, and he's just got to, not just him, any of the other boys that are around it as well, got to really give everything like they always do, like our boys do, and continue to learn. He's still got a long way to go. Joey's got a lot of development. You can see it physically even as well, but what we see, we really like. We think he's got real potential.
The games that you had on Monday, the one you've got coming up, Blackburn, always sort of billed in recent months as big games, because they're teams in and around there fighting for promotion. I've still class them as that, even though obviously you're qualified for the playoffs. But how important in this sort of period where you're trying to figure out how to navigate your way to the playoffs, even though you're there, is it to have games where there's still, there's stuff riding on them still?
Yeah, the stuff riding on them is momentum. That's it at the moment now, and it's your pride, it's your competitive edge. That's what we all want to win when we get out there. You feel that as soon as that whistle goes of the day, everyone's, we want to win, and we're like that on the touchline. You can see the lads celebrating together when we score. But like I said, it's different. It's just new for us all. It's a different situation for all of us to deal with now. We know really where we're going to be. We're 3rd or 4th. That's it. We know we're going to be away then home. We know we're in. But we want to win. We want to win. But like I said, is it a different type of mindset to what it's going to be like in that first playoff game? Probably, because that's human nature. We can't really do much about that. We all know when a game really, really means something, and we know we've got those games coming up, and that's just in the back of people's heads, and we can't do anything to stop that. Really, it really is strange. But all we can do is prepare, be consistent, keep doing the same things that's got us to where we are right now, because the lads have done great. So we're not going to do anything differently. We're still going to train really hard, try and manage everyone's load, have a plan like we said, try and get some minutes for some other people, but I'm not going to go wacky and change everything, because we've had a lot of success with it, and we've got to try and keep what we've got as well, that momentum. We've got to try and keep that. We don't want it to go at the most important stage.